Hey, hey. Hello, everybody. I am here. Let me move the camera over. Hello, hello. Hi, hi. Let me get this fixed up. Hey, how's it going? My one person that's here. What I thought, if you want to come on the screen and let me know what you'd like to know, that'd be super great. What I thought I would do today is, I'm not sure how to share screen. I was going to do some teaching. And while I'm waiting for questions, but feel free to answer questions. So basically, I'm here to answer questions about intuitive answers and questions about your life and about how to handle your life, like, oh, this relationship and this thing and the thing about the money. And I just thought it'd be fun to try doing the free coaching. And other people are going to watch this later, but what I want to do is get some teaching up. I don't know if I can share it. Let's see. Let me see if I can get some teaching up. But if you want to come on screen and ask a question, I'm going to find my teaching programs. New course, lesson 1, philosophy and standard.
Hey everyone.
No, that's not it. That's the lane. So I'm going to get the. I don't know if I can get it up to show you, but I'm going to speak to some things while we're here. Unless you come on with a question. Anyway, it's me. It's Liz. We're here. I'm happy to see you. Let me get the PDF up. Lesson 1 final. Yeah, here we go. All righty. I have so many versions of everything, so I appreciate you being here. So I want to welcome you here, and I'm going to do some teaching or training unless or until you guys have a question. My one person. Oh, there's 2 of you. Hey. So, like, my intention here is for you guys to ask questions about your life, and I can certainly help out and sort of intuitively consult, because that's what I do. I do it through tarot cards, which I have over there, but you don't really need the tarot cards, and so I just love coaching. And so I'm hoping to get questions that are not too crazy, but, questions about your life you can use some support with. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is, let's see, I'm going to go back to, I have my own slide deck up here. What I was going to start to do a little bit of teaching until you guys ask questions. I also am a coach. I do coaching. I would love to coach you, and I have programs. What I'm going to speak to today until you guys come on and ask some questions, I'm going to do some teaching. So I want to talk a little bit about philosophy and standard. It's really hard to advance in life. We get stuck because we have the same old perspective, and we're using the same old perspective trying to do the same old thing. What is it that Einstein said? Einstein said that, when trying to answer the same old questions and solve the same problems with the same techniques is kind of insanity. So we get stuck. We get super stuck. And I also want to say that deciding to change is really hard in the beginning and messy in the middle and glorious at the end. So making the commitment to change is very challenging, but once you make it, it gets very messy because there's something called the paradigm I'm going to talk about. There's part of your subconscious programming that's kind of giving you some limits and kind of keeping you from being successful. So I have a thing that, remember the movie Finding Nemo? Nemo's dad wants to keep him on the reef. Oh, there's my dog. Nemo's dad wants to keep him on the reef and doesn't want him to go out and have adventures and get lost and have adventures for himself. Hello, puppy. And Dory says, well, if he doesn't go anywhere, nothing's ever going to happen to him. Like, we have to live life. But the paradigm, your subconscious mind, is that part of you that wants to keep you safe and keep you on the reef, if you will, instead of going off and having an adventure in life. So, hi, baby. You're so funny. All right, you want to come up here? Oh, my goodness. He likes to be on camera. So anyway, it's basically this fellow, Robin Sharma, wrote a book. He wrote many books, but one of his books is called The 5 a.m. Club. And he's the one that coined the whole phrase, change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, and glorious at the end. Once you choose to make a change, your subconscious programming is going to act out and start putting up real battle. And then you need to push past that and push out or eat clean or manage your money better. We're going to say, try not to have more than 2 days where you're like stumbling with your habits, right? So I had my first half of this year, I was having a hard time working out and doing the yoga and doing the trail runs because I just didn't feel like doing it. My body really wanted to be sedentary. So I went for way more than 2 days. But anyway, and I'll talk about coaching for a minute. I'm in my 4th coaching training right now because I want to be excellent at what I do. In 2010, come here, puppy. 2010, I trained with Martha Beck, who's Oprah Winfrey's coach, for what it's worth. She used to talk about, the importance of coaching, and I learned how to coach. And we students, we would coach each other pro bono for free to practice, right? But none of us ever paid for it. I never really took it thoroughly seriously. Like, well, I don't need to coach. I know how to coach. I'm a counselor. I'm a pastor. I know what to do. I don't need to pay for it. And I found my own life, getting stuck and just not really advancing. I was just new to the military and just trying to figure it out. And I think around 2016, I finally decided, you know what, I need to freaking pay for coaching, because when you pay, you put the energy in and you do it. And so I found that when I finally started to pay for coaching, I wasn't paying that much. I had someone who's being helpful to the military, but my technique or my skill set and my results went up like that. And so even though I was a coach, it took me a number of years to realize I should pay for coaching. Right now, I've been paying for coaching for a couple of years now, and my life has soared because of that. But the coaching really helps you fall in love with your life, right? The reason you have a coach is that a coach helps you believe your life's possible. Let's say you have a goal to double your income, or a goal to have that relationship, or a goal to be in the best shape of your life, something like that. He's such a selfish hog. That you may go through times where you're stumbling, you're stuck, and that's where your coach comes through and says, "No, you got this, and that's what I do for people, And I'll also tell you that success comes. Come here, baby. Success comes in the doing the small things every day. It's not like. So I have another funny story. I had someone when I first started coaching a couple of years ago. I invited this young fellow, friend of mine, to come on and coach with me. And I gave him a really decent price because he's a buddy of mine from Kuwait. And I was just getting started again after leaving the military. I offered him a pretty decent price. I offered like triple. I go for the investment's now triple that. But anyway, he had pretty much told me that, no, I can't afford it because I've just spent the exact same amount in lottery tickets. I don't know if he won, but the funny thing was, like, people want that big answer, that big cheating thing to get fast results, rather than doing the dailies things. So people who coach with me, or if you work with any coach, they'll give you a process of things to do. I call it the sauce. In my case, certain types of auto suggestion, whether they're in the mirror, whether it's writing, whether it's speaking, whether it's listening to your own voice recorded and stuff like that, and writing things out every day, like gratitude statements and I am statements. No, you can't get on the desk. So I want to remind you that success comes in the daily practice, and success also, when you start a process for moving toward achieving your goal, success is invisible at first. It's in other planes of reality, if you will. In other words, like, your five senses are going to be the last bits of you that actually, no, he's pushing the program. No, stop. Your five senses are going to be the last bits of you. I'm going to have to put you on the floor. Are going to be the last bits of you that actually see the results. Let's say the money, the girl, the guy, the fitness, or whatever. So it's in the invisible realms, and you're pulling it in. So you have to just trust yourself, or let your coach trust you. Your subconscious, actually, that paradigm we're going to talk about, really requires and needs a lot of repetition. It really does. And I have my clients say to me, "God darn it, Liz, why it's 2 months later? Why am I still writing the same old things? Why am I doing the same old shit?" It's really important. Your subconscious needs and loves repetition. Remember, if you're 30 or 40 or 50 years old or 60, you spend a lifetime gathering this paradigm of stuff, of beliefs and limiting beliefs of what your parents said and what they said and what she said in your life and your traumas, your childhood. Remember, up to age from 0 to 7 years old, you're in this hypnagogic state. You can't say no to anything. Anything your parents tell you, like, you're no good or you're wonderful, you just take it in as a child. And we have to undo that. It gets really ingrained in there. And when you start saying, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better, your subconscious is like, really? So it takes a while to begin to upset those programs and sort of dissolve the ill-serving parts. And I just want to say, too, the character is what you are when no one's looking. So I have a friend, I'll call her Sally. She's a marathon runner. She grew up in South Africa, and she used to run ultra runs there, and she is now just down to running your normal marathon. She regularly competes in the marathon, in the Marine Corps marathon. She qualifies any year she wants for the Boston and the New York City Marathon. And I knew her when I lived in Boston, and we're exactly the same age. And this woman's amazing. She'll get up in the middle of the winter in the snowstorm in Boston at 5 a.m. and to do a training run in the dark, in the cold, when the rest of us are sleeping or groggily getting up and having our coffee, getting ready to go to work. She was doing this in the dark by herself. No one knew. And then she got up, she came home, took a shower, went to work as a financial officer. She never talked about it. No one ever cared. It was what she was doing in the dark, that quiet training run. And that's the same thing when you get up every day and do your process, your affirmations, your affirming work, your auto-suggestion, your writing, your reading, your study. It's all you. It's that success is what happens in the dark. Hey, I see there are 3 of you here. If you guys want to throw a question in the chat, I can answer it for you. But I thought in the meantime, for the replay, I would just do some teaching. But jump in with your questions, please. Hey. Hi, Nina. Nice to see you over here in this channel. I love coaching, so I've just moved to something I truly love. Tarot is wonderful. All right. So basically, character is who you are when no one's looking. Are you doing your process? Especially if I'm working with you. Some of you from my other channel I've worked with, some of my mods I've worked with and give you guys affirmations. And if you continue them, you've been very successful in achieving, like reconciling with your children, getting tickets to go see grandkids, manifesting a new house. Hey, SL. Hey, folks. So I'm going to say, as you raise your vibe and you move up, okay, let me stop. So Neville Goddard would say that creation's finished, right? So anything you can think of, God has it for you. It's already there. It's already there. Let me see. It's already there. It's just that you're not of the vibe to receive it. You're not receiving it because he's such a film hog. You're not receiving it yet. Do you do the gratitude writing each day? Yes. Well, hey, Nina. Yes, he does. Okay, you do the gratitude writing every day. Since you asked a question, thank goodness someone's asked a question. I love teaching, but yes, so my clients, I have you do the gratitude teaching. I have you get up, you go to the morning thing, pee, be nice to yourself in the mirror, tell yourself how wonderful yourself are in the mirror. Then you go back into your, wherever you're doing your journaling, in a journal, in a journal, you write down, I think I did a video on my channel, 5 things in the morning that you have already received. Like, I'm so happy for this puppy, so healthy. I'm so glad my daughter's taking him back next week. I'm so glad my cars are running well. And and I write down 5 things that I'm already thankful for. They can be the same thing every day, but yes, every day. They can be different things every day. You can also then add another 5 things of things you want to bring into reality. I need a new HVAC machine. I had to replace HVAC this summer. So I needed the money for that. I'm so happy I found my diamond earring. I lost an earring this winter. I'm so glad or whatever, things you want to bring to the future. I have a book I'm trying to publish. I'm trying to figure out the venue of how to publish that. So I'm a published author. I haven't done a TED Talk. So you do that every day. Some people will get sexy about it and do the 5 they want to manifest at night in bedtime to kind of get their subconscious working on this new things. Look, he's trying to get on okay, can you just lay down? Okay. So let me see. Yeah, he wants attention. I watched it this morning. I want to start that. Oh, please do start that. I was going to say, like I said in the video, if you do nothing else, oh, I'm so loved. If you do nothing else, be grateful, because it gives you such a high vibe that, remember I said, whatever you want, creation's finished. It's out there. You're just not vibing there yet. You need to get yourself to be in the place to be ready to receive what you're wanting. The being thankful gets you so high vibe. Also, humor also gets you high vibe too. But I will say that as you make a choose to change and you're doing the thankful statements, SL, as you're doing the thankful statements and you raise your vibe, sometimes life gets a little messy. Life gets a little confusing. So when you raise your vibe, sometimes people in your tribe will leave you. Sometimes like you lose people or events or things in your life. I'm clean. What are you sniffing me for? So, it's like I have found, like, a lot of times I'll lose some friendships, some people will fall away, or clients will fall away, or events or things. You'll find yourself less attracted to them. People will naturally find themselves less attracted to you. But it's not the kind of thing where you just go, that's it, only A+ relationship, I'm leaving you. It's just you'll find that if you're hanging out at the same old bar, that maybe you might find different things to do with your time and you'll do some other things, what have you. So a lot of times as you begin to change, it feels uncomfortable to many people because things begin to fall away a little bit. Oh, hi, there are 4 of you. Feel free to ask questions, guys. But I'm going to say that as you begin to change, a new tribe is coming and new events and new opportunities, especially if you set a really high standard for yourself of people only treating you well, whether they're clients, people you're selling widgets to, your friends, your family, and stuff like that. So, yeah, so SL's asking, I do prayers every morning and read the Bible. Absolutely. Yeah. Writing that down, I feel a change coming. SL, that's very true. Like a lot of times you get into this messy middle. Remember I said change is difficult in the beginning. Yeah, messy in the middle and glorious at the end. You get to that messy middle when your tribe's changing, your desire. Maybe instead of hanging out at the bar, say you decide to go home and take an online class or read a book. I always recommend doing some really important study instead of always streaming brain candy, over social media. So yeah, the change is coming. And I'll tell you, SL, that when you get into that messy place, understand that a quantum leap's coming. So if you lose some friendships or you lose some events or you realize the old job is not what you're looking for, a better job's coming. It will require the work to put into it, but better stuff's coming down the pike. Let me see if I can advance my slide. So the other thing about making a change is making that irrevocable, committed decision to make the change. So it's very important to make that commitment. It's almost like Sun Tzu in The Art of War. burning your boats behind you. Like, because if you just want to go sit on the couch and stream social media and not do the work, I'm not saying it has to be really hard, but to do your sauce, do all your affirmations and stuff like that. What I give to my clients generally is about an hour and a half a day of stuff to do, maybe an hour in the morning and then half hour through the rest of the day. And it's super important. And I teach all that in my course, but I just putting out on the free channel some little helps and stuff like that. Okay. So I also want to say that I think I'll tell my own story. I found that I started to get really, oh, you will do the writing. Yeah. I ordered a journal a week ago and now I'm going to do that. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Yeah. You can, what I would add to that SL, I don't know if I call you SL or call you H or SLH, but not only do the gratitude, I would do something else too in your journal. There's many things you can do, but you can do the gratitude every morning, but you can also do I am statements. Where I would say do 20 I am statements, like I am positive, I am strong, I'm powerful, I'm fun, I'm funny, I'm getting younger every day, I'm brilliant, I'm beautiful, I'm magnetic, I'm alluring, I'm attractive, I'm a good money manager, I'm a money magnet, I'm really good in relationships. Whatever it is you want to do, there's a lot of good I am statements out there all over YouTube. There's people saying them. So I just sit and think every day, like, who do I want to be? Who do I need to become to meet my goals? I'm a great money manager. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in the relationship of my dreams. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. So SLH, I would do gratitude statements and I would do the I am statements as well as a start. And then also SL, you guys, I'll give you a third thing to do, which is when you get in front of the mirror, the first thing before or after you pee, I would look in the mirror and go, oh my gosh, I'm so awesome. How did I get so awesome today? How is it that I have the most wonderful day ever? How is it that wonderful things are always happening in my life? I'm the luckiest person. Reality's rigged in my favor. I just want him to turn off the computer. Reality's rigged in my favor. Everything always works out for me. Everything's always happening for me. Now they want to see your fanny. You got to come over here. So everything's always working out for me. I'm living in flow in a continual state of ecstasy and bliss. He's all over me. He hasn't done this in a while. But anyway, so I learned that not only did I start to make serious advances when I began to pay for coaching, because when you pay, it's an energy exchange and you do the work. I find that when I give this stuff away for free, people often don't do it because they're not taking it as seriously. But the other thing that really helped me was what I'll call extreme responsibility. Extreme responsibility for me is understanding that I am my only problem and I am its only solution, right? I mean, there's people out there who might be naughty, but we can't change them. You can change yourself and your response to things. So instead of reacting, you can begin to respond to stuff. So that was a difference for me when I began to take absolute extreme responsibility for myself. Understanding like, well, he, she, they, the job, the boss might be all terrible or interesting, but I could work on myself. You see his one blue eye? That's why he's named Blue. So let me see what else I have on my slides. I'm going to talk about standard for a minute. I think standard relates to sort of personal boundaries. It's important to say a hard no to what's below your standard. So important to say a hard no because what are you tolerating? What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? All right. And you'll find that when you stick to your standard, you'll find that better people will come your way. Kind of like what I was saying in the beginning. If you're going on a date with someone and they're treating you kind of crappily, they're not treating you well, you don't have to date them anymore. You can find better people. Or if you have a situation at work that's not great, I'm not saying, you look at yourself with extreme responsibility, but prepare to get a new job. And I'm not saying you have to stomp off in a huff, but what are you tolerating or putting up with? And I'm not saying in a selfish kind of way. I'm just saying, are people treating you like a doormat? Don't do that. Learn some boundaries. Hey, Nina. Yeah. Hello. Oh, Trey. Hey, Transcending Grammy's here. Where are you here? You have a new grandbaby. There's a new grandbaby. I wasn't expecting you here. Do you want me to make you a mod? Not that I need a mod, but I'll add you as a moderator. Add as a moderator. I'm going to make you standard, can review and remove. Yeah. I'll say that one. That seems to work. Okay. Hey, welcome. So anyway, I'm saying to you, it's really super important to say no to things that aren't your standard. If someone's not treating you very well, I know if you're married, you've got kids in the house and property, things can get interesting, but it's really important to speak up and say what you need. That's super bound. I teach on boundaries all the time, especially in the military. I taught it a lot. boundaries is huge, but it's important to set a standard. I want to try to figure out, I can't do this on YouTube to get my slides up here, but what I will do someday is actually maybe invite people on a Zoom call. And then I can show slides, and if you guys are interested. Can you see how he looks? He's really funny looking. He's actually like stepping on me. He's really weird. Anyway, what I want to talk about now is not only for standard is it important to say a hard no or a yes to things that are appropriate and good, and not tolerate ill treatment. Okay, please lay down. I don't need to turn off the computer. I wanted to talk about some things that are a standard for me that I try to do every day, that I don't always make, but I try to set a standard for myself. And that is, like I said, extreme responsibility. I try to, if I've got a bill, I try to pay it. If I have to make a phone call, I try to do what I say I'm going to do with myself. I take responsibility for myself. No one else is responsible for my unhappiness. This is right. So I also try to go through a process where I release blame, I forgive, and I try to be in gratitude. Like if someone is shitty to me, say, I try to get to the place where I'm like, just sending them hearts and sparkles. They're on their own, right? So I try to work on that, and I don't carry resentment and regret forever. At the same time, though, I have teeth. Like if someone is bothering me, I have the teeth to handle it. I said that one of my life missions has been being loving with teeth. Like I'm super loving, but if you cross me, then the guns come out, right? So I have that capability. But anyway, so release blame is what I try to do. I also try to exercise daily and try to eat clean most of the time. Usually that works. I also am always trying to do my mindset work and my shadow work and my meditation, my worship. That's always happening because it's kind of like, would I not shower? It's really important to me as a spiritual person. I try to be the best me. I try not to say anything bad about myself ever. And I try not to say about other people. Sometimes I slip and I go, okay, cancel. Because when you're talking bad about yourself or other people, it goes right into your subconscious. Even if you're hearing bad talk about somebody else, your subconscious doesn't know it's not you, so you can absorb it. I try to say no to BS, like someone knocked on the door to sell me a security system or whatever. I'm like, no, for $8 million, no, thank you. Hard no to BS. And I try to make decisions quickly. A lot of us think we have to sleep on stuff, but actually the most successful people are able to go into their heart and make a decision quickly. So that's part of my personal ethic. I also try to leave the wood pile higher than I found it, like doing free stuff, like offering helps. Like if 2 people feel better after this call, I've met my, I don't need the money today. It's just, I love serving, and it's important to put out 10 times more value than the money that you get in life. So try to leave the wood pile higher. I try to have a positive mental attitude, and I try to have a sense of honesty and loyalty, and I do my personal study. So that's a personal ethic, but I just invite you guys to think about who it is that you are and what kinds of things you tolerate or want to do. What is it? What is your ethic? And I just want to say that if you don't know what you want in life, your life won't work. It's super important. I think many of us grow up not even feeling like we're authorized to even ask for what we want. We don't feel that we're allowed. We don't think we're going to get it. We don't think there's someone or anyone out there who cares. We think life just has to be drudgery. Yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly. So Grammy, transcending Grammy, I'm going to say basically, like I've said before, from age 0 to 7, we're all in this hypnagogic state where we just absorb what our parents tell us. And our parents never learned this stuff. So our parents are telling us, who do you think you are? You're no good. What are you worth, you stupid little, right? That's what I heard a lot. And so it's important to understand that we can ask for what we want. Ask for what we want. The universe actually is here to serve you. I don't know if you believe in a God, if you believe in God as like a force, but I don't think that we're like worms, that we have to serve God as like little minions or slaves. I feel like we're stewards of the garden if you're Christian, but we're here to ask and try to reach and do it. I think we came to planet to learn to manage our energy. So part of managing our energy is deciding what we want. And it's not always about the Lexus or the Lambo and whatever, or the big house. It can be, but it's about who you become on the way to the goal. The studies have shown that you actually, you release more dopamine in the pursuit of a goal than you release in the attainment of a goal. So, right, I do believe it would be really cool if children could be taught this, but they're not. So we're learning, I'm learning in my 30s, 40s, and 50s, and now I'm 60. So I want to talk a little bit about the 3 minds. The 3 minds, I'm going to call them, there's different ways to think about the mind. This modality or this way of speaking or this framework is, I say there's a conscious mind, there's a subconscious mind, and there's a superconscious mind. This conscious mind is the mind you know. It's the mind that you learn, you educate yourself. It's your intellect. It's where you make decisions. It's where you agree or disagree. You make choices. You reject, accept. You say yes or no. It's a little bit of where your ego lives. The ego moves around, but it's the five senses, right? It's your personality. It's your to-do list. It's like your admin. It's your GPS. It's your guy or gal Friday, like making you do stuff. It's that conscious mind, like, oh, I'm going to get on a call with Liz. I'm going to do the thing and do the thing and do the thing. That's your conscious mind. I think we all know that. Then the superconscious mind is just a sexy term I use. It's basically can be God, source, spirit, the ground of being, universe, guides, guardians, ancestors, and angels, the cosmic web, the force. It's called lots of things. Your higher self, the Holy Spirit. This superconscious mind is basically everywhere, everything, all at once. It knows everything. And how you get stuff, whether it's a character or a virtue or an experience or financial freedom or relationships, a Lamborghini, whatever you want, it's basically your conscious mind sending down and entraining your subconscious mind, as if it's down here. Your subconscious mind talking to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind communicates with the superconscious mind, God, source, if you will, intelligent, say infinite intelligence, loving infinity, and it brings it into you. It brings it to your experience, and it comes through the subconscious. So that's important to realize. It wants to serve you, but you have to ask. And if you don't ask for what you want, like, oh, I don't worry about it, I'm fine, then you'll get mass consciousness offerings willy-nilly, right? But if you ask specifically, you do much better. You do a much better way. It goes much better for you. It's really important to ask. I am very distracted by this dog sniffing me. He's delightful. I mean, who gets to have a Blue Merle Frenchie on their desk? So funny. Now let's talk about the subconscious mind. This is the great undiscovered country. This is, if you have an iceberg, it's the iceberg under the water. Okay. The subconscious mind is it's emotionally based. It cannot reject ideas. It only can accept them. So if it hears for over and over and over and over again that someone's no good, cancel, or that you're amazing and wonderful, that you're wealthy and you can do anything you want, and that you're infinite, or that you should just lay down and die in the corner, cancel. I'm not laying that at anybody. I'm not laying that at anybody here, but it begins to receive. And so that's why it's really important when you're hearing nasty talk or talking badly about someone. It's important, even if you're in the hearing of the gossip or whatever, at least you can say it internally mentally to yourself, like, don't accept that, scratch that, that's not for us. And then perhaps you can change the subject. The subconscious rules you. It's like 97 or 98% of you. You can't beat it. So in other words, if you join the gym in January and try to eat clean, or you want to manage your money better, you want to try to treat your person better or your kids better, you can't push past your subconscious programming. So if you're running programs that say, no, just sit on the couch and be sedentary, that's fine. You deserve it. Have the ice cream, have the six pack, have the glass of wine, binge watch this, or watch this video game, you'll be encouraged to do it. And that's and especially when you get sick or tired or stressed or feeling weak, the subconscious can begin to take over. And it's not that the subconscious is bad. You have programs running in it. I call it the paradigm because it's easier than saying subconscious programming. But the paradigm will take control. And there's good parts of the paradigm, that how to train a dog, how to drive a car, how to play a guitar, how to cook. There's really good muscle memory and learnings in the subconscious mind that we want to keep. But there's also some self-sabotage programs that we want to dissolve. I call that the ill-serving parts of the paradigm. So you can't beat it, but you can begin to dissolve that and put in the good stuff. I know Transcendent Grammar, we talked about that. The subconscious mind speaks in symbols and pictures. It's a dream language. That's why we date to retrain the subconscious mind. We go into imagination and daydreaming and thinking about what you want, right? It loves and needs repetition, like I said. And I will say again, I'll say it over and over again, that what you see and hear out in the world, if you don't curate it, it will go right into your subconscious over time, eventually. Not the first time maybe, but eventually. So it's really important to understand, we don't let our subconscious we don't train our conscious mind to control what's going into the subconscious. We don't let it, we aren't even aware. We just hear stuff and think it's okay, and that's us, but it does go inside our subconscious if we're not careful. It's super important to have the conscious mind reject and accept ideas. So if you hear something in the world and you like it, you go, yeah, that can come on in. If you don't like something, like someone saying something bad about someone or the world, That's why sometimes I don't want to answer all these questions about the very bad geopolitical news out there, because then we're talking all about it and then it becomes part of our field. And that's one reason I, wanted to move away from that stuff a little bit. I want to read you something about thinking about other people. I want to ask you, if you're here on this call or you're watching this later, like from this day forward, to only speak and think kindly toward yourself and eventually toward everybody else. And I would say, if you feel like putting in the chat, can you at least try or promise that you're not going to talk badly about yourself ever again anymore? And when you do, because you might, because we trip up, it takes some time to just say cancel, and then turn it around. Like you say, oh my God, I love to myself. You go, oh, nope, I'm pretty amazing and wonderful. Yes, good, SLH. Don't say anything bad about yourself anymore, or catch it and turn it around right away. Like, no, I'm getting better every day. So because then you're training the subconscious mind to, you're just retraining it to not think bad thoughts and not limit you. It's really important to stop letting the outside dictate your weather, like the geopolitical situation, the political situation, the money stuff, or your bank account, or what he said, she said, the stuff. It's important. I used to work on this with my soldiers too, but to create your own weather and go, okay, that's interesting out there, but I'm pretty awesome. Like whatever's gone outside in the world, I still have this house and it's still standing, and I still have some money in the bank, and my dog's nice, and my daughter's nice, and my grandkids are nice. I'm having a pretty decent life. It's because in part I'm creating it. I'm taking extreme responsibility. I'm not letting out there freak out. Liz, your help with affirmation while breathe, has helped me greatly. Oh, you do? That's great. I love that. Yeah, we talked about that. I love it. So it's super important not to let the outside dictate your inside. You can note the news out there and go, okay, that's interesting. What am I going to do today, right? I want to read you something. It's from the Yoga Sutras. The mind becomes purified by cultivating feelings of friendliness toward those who are happy, compassion for those who are suffering, goodwill toward those who are virtuous, and neutrality or equanimity toward those who are wicked. So in other words, you can get to the place where you're like, well, people are people, and you don't have to carry this resentment and hatred. Like, I could never forgive them. So while you're still here with me, I'm going to say too, I have a concept I teach with my clients called the Big Five, which is the first one is self-image. I'll talk about that. Self-image is your self-concept or your sense of self-worth. Just like I said about the paradigm, you can't outperform your self-image. In other words, if you think that you're not worthy of making a certain amount of money every month, or not worthy of the great relationship, or worthy of having your kids talk with you when they're grown-ups, you can't outperform that. So when I work with clients, I find it really super important to work on their self-concept, their image first, right? Like that's why SLH, I was having you do the, Nina, you agreed to not talk bad. Good. Don't talk badly about yourself. They do the I am statements, because you become that. You can just even say, I am. Like, I am. I'm amazing. I'm beautiful. I'm wonderful. I'm talented. I'm brilliant. And you may not even believe it yet, but what you're doing is your current beliefs are set on your past behavior and what you've heard out in the world. But the affirmations you say with yourself right now are actually setting up and crafting your future. You might feel like an imposter right now, but what you're doing is training your subconscious mind and crafting a future. So to say the I am statements is a great way to up your self-image. I remember I was doing them for a number of months a couple of years ago. Or one Christmas weekend, I was moving from one room to another. I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to sound funny. Oh my gosh, I am amazing and wonderful. Like, I remember when I started to believe it, and I'm not any more amazing and wonderful than you guys are. It's funny, but it's just, so I really appreciate you guys being here. I had a feeling it might be a small group because it's a new channel, but you just get out there anyway, regardless of the numbers. Like, if I can help one person, I've done my job. So working on self-image is super important. The second thing is what we've already talked about, standard. What do you tolerate? What do you say yes to? What do you say no to? I'm not saying it's time to be mean to people, but at least it's time to speak up. Like, I had a client from Canada whose husband would start to speak meanly to her, harshly to her. And was she going to leave him? No. But what she did say is, I'll call him Joe. Joe, I don't like how you talk to me. I'd like that to stop, please. Let's talk about that. So at least she was speaking her mind, and she could follow on, like decide what she wanted to do about that, whether he got nice enough to her, or she could just figure that out. But at least she was speaking her mind and speaking up for herself, and not just going, okay, I guess I'm just a terrible person. Just having that standard. It doesn't mean you run off from the situation right away, or that you're mean in return. It's just, there are things you can do. If you ever want to talk to me about that, we glow from within. Yes, exactly. So the standard is really important. And you'll find, like I said in the beginning of this call, when you have a standard and you drop things off from your life that aren't A plus, whether they're people, events, activities, habits, you'll find that new stuff comes in its place. Like I recently, in the last year, let go of a couple friendships that were not super good for me. And I'm not mad at them or anything. They just weren't conversations with people I wanted to be having. They just weren't nice enough, really. But I already knew that in a couple of months I would make new friendships that were really great. I have some really great friendships now that are super people that are just really good humans. I love it. Oh, Nina says, I just happened to see your message that you'd be on tonight at 7, but I'm still not receiving notifications. Yeah, I don't know if I have a bell. I don't know if you've clicked the bell. Try resubbing. Maybe it might reset. I don't really know, but all I do is I do the postings. I don't set the notifications. I think it's clicking the bell icon. Do I have a bell on the channel? I'll check into it for you, Nina. Thanks for letting me know. I'll check into that. Let me make a note. Okay, he's sitting on the pen. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Liz. I love your new channel. You gave me a personal reading. Oh, yes, I remember you. Hey. I love tarot cards. It's just when I decided what I wanted to do with my life and the grandkids and the granddog, I wanted to move toward coaching because I feel like it just fits me better. Tarot cards are super great. In fact, if I have some people on here, maybe I'll throw some cards at the end. The next thing is attitude. Number 3 is attitude. Like an attitude here, what I mean by that is really trying to have a positive attitude all the time. My perfect example is Transcending Grammy. This woman is always super positive. She's always so gloriously positive, and you got it exactly right. Yeah. This is awesome sauce. Yeah, so it's super positive when you think something, oh my God, the news, the terrible him, her. It's really important to move toward a positive thing. I'm not talking about rose-colored glasses or imposter syndrome. I'm just saying, really being in a negative mood only harms yourself. So let's say someone does something bad, you say something bad. What I love to do is when I'm really with someone, instead of being negative, I kind of just say, well, he's being perfectly himself, or she's being perfectly herself. And that's as neutral as I can get at first when I'm pissed at somebody. And then I can kind of go, just I said hearts and sparkles, or just send glorious love. And then I go, hey, people aren't, even those people who aren't in my life anymore, when I think about them, I go, hey, I just send them really good vibes. I think, oh, so-and-so, I'm so glad you're doing so well and you're so happy, even though I don't want them in my life anymore. I love it. Life coaching is something everyone can do. It is so true. We all could use it. Do you know that like coaching is like a $43 billion industry? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mia. Yeah, I'm going to try to come on every week, and I have a teaching if there's no one asking questions, but I'll talk about different things, or we'll just keep it short or whatever. But I'm here for your questions, really. So if you ask, I'll interrupt myself. But can you just think only positive about what you want? Ralph Waldo Emerson said, a man is what he thinks about all day long. And it's true. If you vibrate at a certain level, and you guys know this, but if you vibrate at a stinky level, you attract stinky things. It's really important not only to not talk badly about yourself. This is part of self-image and part of the attitude. Can you only think about what you want? Don't think about the negative, bad, scary, sad thing and the bad memory of the this and the that happened in the past. Victims think in the past, all right? Leaders think about the present and the future, okay? Yeah, Trent, she said you have your moments, but you're tired of being so sad. Exactly. A man is what he thinks about all day long. A person is what he thinks about all day long. So I would invite you to begin to turn around when you go, oh my God, I can't believe the government, this and that. Yeah, it does suck. But you can just go into your own weather and go, well, I'm going to have a positive attitude anyway. Like I remember when I was in Kuwait, we had so much poop rolling downhill. You put music on that helps you, right, Nina? We had so much poop rolling downhill from Forces Command and from the Biden administration and stuff like that, just from the Afghanistan retrograde that we did. I was kind of furious all the time at all the stupidity. Like I keep saying, 13 people died, 12 Marines and 1 Navy corpsman that didn't have to die because of stupid orders rolling downhill. They didn't really care about us. We're just cannon fodder. I was so furious at all the jobs and duties we had. So I remember I would just be in my office and, I could only do 12 things in a day and I'd be given 80 things to do. And I go, ah! And then COVID was the enemy. Like everything's the enemy. And I were just going, okay, what's next? And I just got myself to this neutral place of being able to accept the next thing. And it was very hard for me. And I was kind of grumpy when I came home. I didn't get happy until after I got home, but I was kind of furious while I was deployed. But anyway, and the other thing is discipline. Discipline meaning if you get the sauce, or like I've given Transcending Grammy some helps, but if you've had some helps from me, do the sauce. Do what I tell you to do, because if you do this stuff, like talk kindly to yourself in the mirror first thing. If you do the I am statements, if you do the gratitude statements, you get up and do it every day. Like I said, character is what you do in the dark when no one's looking. It's the daily process that brings you to success. Yeah. Oh yeah, uplifting music. I really like Mozart. I really super like Mozart a lot. Or sometimes I'll listen to like some great let's say talk Liz. Your Universe on YouTube. She's great. Jessica, somebody. She has a lot of great meditation. So does Brian Scott. Sometimes I'll listen to one of those, or I'll listen to like an inspiring something, or I'll listen to a book on tape. That's why I record so much. You guys might want to look back at my channel. I recommend you can listen to Wallace Wattles, and you can listen to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy. You can just put those on too. Yeah, Mozart is good. I think he's for me the finest composer ever of that era. But discipline's super important, and all of these things. There's self-image, there's standard, there's attitude, there's discipline, and then I'm going to talk about decision making. They're all of a piece. They're all related and work together. It's just the discipline is getting up every day and working on your self-image and reminding yourself to be positive. If you have a negative thought, it doesn't help anybody. People will say, my mom has said, Liz, why? She can tell euphemistically, I'm very real, and she just says things as they are, and very negative stuff comes out of her mouth. And she's been on meds her entire life, and I love her, but she's very overweight and very unhealthy and on meds because she's not done a lot of that inner work. She doesn't agree with it or like it, but she doesn't have any discipline, just can't stop eating. She's like, Elizabeth, I've drank everything I wanted. I've eaten everything I wanted. I've smoked everything I wanted. I've had intimate relations with everyone I wanted, and she's very ill now. But she hasn't wanted to have a good attitude. She's just like cursing and being mean and nasty all the time. That's her. I love her, and she loves me, and we have a good relationship, but I don't think she'll ever come on board with this stuff. But anyway, that discipline, can you try to only accept good thoughts in your life? Only think about what is moving toward your goal. Only think about what makes you happy. It's really important. Like, you deal with a thing, you have to make the phone call. But like I said, pain happens, but suffering's optional, where you just go, rah, rah, rah. My brother's also very negative, my stepbrother. The fifth one is decision making. It turns out that the most successful people make decisions quickly. And here's why. A lot of times we talk about having to sleep on it. But when you are asked to make a decision, actually, I believe what needs to happen is you go into your heart, actually. You want to get down? You go into your heart, actually. Let me put it down. Whoops, easy. All right, buddy. You go into your heart space. And your heart knows what it wants to do right away. It always knows. But then it gets up into our logical, analytical mind, and we shut it down. Because that doesn't make any sense. And why would you do that? Why would you go be a painter? You're a tax accountant right now. Why would you do that? It's crazy. So your logical mind takes over, and then you don't do it. What really should happen is your heart, your subconscious mind, or your subjective mind should make the decision of what your heart wants. And then you use your conscious mind as your admin, as your guy or gal Friday, to make things happen, to have things start and happen. So that's what you should be doing. We let the conscious mind run our lives, that we think that has to be the owner of the show, when it isn't. It should just be, the heart should rule and make a choice and decide what the want is. Like I went into my wants and said, I really want to go into coaching. And I couldn't do both coaching and tarot reads. I just didn't have the energy to put out content for both. And I made a very hard decision to make that choice, and kind of rebuilding from scratch. And I just love you guys are here, that I know you pretty well. SLH, you're new to me, but some of the other folks have been over my tarot channel. All right. So, but the decision making, when you make it quickly, you're responding to the heart, what the heart wants. Like I signed up for some very high investment coaching this year, and I'm taking a class on online businesses too, and I paid a pretty penny for it. I knew I wanted to do it right away, and I knew enough about this life, because I do it, that if I said yes to it and I signed up for the coaching, that the money would come, and it did. I knew my heart wanted to do it, but if I talked to anybody about it, I'd be like, why would I want to spend that much on coaching? And then sure enough, a miracle happened. I only ended up paying half the price for it. They gave me a price. Trauma created difficult decision making. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, not even, yeah. So I'm saying usually decisions are, can be made quickly. And I'm not even talking about life or death. It's just, if you go into your heart already knows what it wants. And really, I'd like to see you get to the life where you can actually do what the heart wants. Obviously, there may be a season where, like my daughter's raising twins right now, or you have an ill partner that needs care, or you're making medical decisions. There's times when things are challenging, but it actually is better to move to a space where you can make a decision in about 30 seconds about what you want, because you really do know what you want. It's when you sleep on it, then you're letting the conscious mind or the analytical mind take over and be all logical. Like, don't do that. Stay on the barrier reef. Don't go out into the ocean, Nemo, kind of thing. So when people work with me, I try to help you get to a goal of some sort, get to a serious goal. And how you achieve your goal is, I have you go for a stretch goal, like something where you've never achieved it before. You have no freaking idea how you're going to do it. And the idea is you got to fuse with the goal first. You fuse with it. In other words, you fall deeply in love with your goal. Fall deeply in love with it. It's got to be something you really, truly want, whether it's doubling your income, or it's the relationship, or the fitness, the Spartan game, hiking K2, climbing K2, whether it's getting your kids to talk to you, whether it's a health-based thing. You have to fuse with it and fall in love with it. And then the second thing is to have identity-based behavior. In other words, what I would say is, if you're coaching with me, as I say, imagine that you already have it. Let's say you want to make $100,000. Crazy. You want to make $100,000 a month. Imagine yourself having achieved that goal 2 months running. How would you feel? 30,000 a month, 100, whatever it is, doesn't matter. 100,000, 30,000. You've had that now 2 months running. Who are you? How would you feel? What would you do with the money? Would the bills be paid? Would you be saying, "Hun, we're going to Africa. We're going to go to the Serengeti"? What do you want to do? How do you act like the person, and you become the person that would be the person? If you made 100,000, well, what would you have to become? Would you be a better money manager? Would you be more organized and disciplined? Would you be a product of the product? Would you be an A+ performer, like getting fit and healthy and taking care of the temple and all that stuff? So you're a fine performer, getting out there doing business stuff. Would you study? Would you take other courses? Would you have mentors? Would you have coaches? Who would you be if you want to be the person that made the 30,000 a month or the 100,000 a month? So you become that person through the I am statements and through other things like life scripts, which I haven't talked about right now. You make that identity-based behavior. It's super important. If you're coming from lack, like, I don't know, I want to make money, but I just never made money, but I can't do it, blah, I can't do it. Well, you won't. You're coming from like a negative consciousness, and you need to be like, oh my gosh. Remember, when you start these processes, your results are invisible. They're already complete. It's just they're in a different plane of reality right now. And the other way to get your goal, there's 3. It's fusing with the goal, identity-based behavior, and then do a process. It's process-driven. In other words, if you're working with me, you do the stuff I tell you to do. Like one thing I tell my clients to do is the night before, come up with 3 to 6 goal-achieving activities that are going to make the most money. So if it's creating content, if it's building this, if it's walking puppy dogs, whatever it is, if it's you set it ahead of time the night before. That's one of many things I have clients do. But you do the activity, do the process. I call it the sauce. Just do the sauce every day. So you're not in charge of figuring out how to get your goal. Your job is to live in the end, like get to the feeling place of the end, imagine it, do your mental movies that I haven't talked about. There's a lot of things to talk about when I coach people. It goes for months and months. This is just an initial class. That way, and then you do your daily process. You're not in charge of the results right now. You're not in charge of the how. It's amazing. Like I said, I didn't know the how. I knew I wanted to take this particular coaching. It was a lot of money. I just said yes. And I said, hey, God, I'm going to need some help. And then they ended up only charging me half. I don't even know why. Maybe it was a mistake, but I'm not telling them. So anyway, that's how you achieve your goals, like fusing and falling in love with it. Identifying with being a goal. If you want to have a Lamborghini, or if you want to have a Tesla in the garage, like, who are you? Are you imagining walking around the Tesla or the Lamborghini or what have you? Right? So I just feel like it's super fun to, I just love coaching. It's so super fun. I help people fall in with their futures. Anyway, oh, you're taking notes? Sorry, I was a little bit flubby because I had the dog here and I was like, what am I going to do if no one shows up? A quote by Emerson. You do the thing you're afraid of. Not that I'm afraid, but just came on to just wing this today. So anyway, do you guys have any questions? Yeah. Live as though our dreams come to be. Exactly. Yes. Stop worrying. Exactly. The worrying just makes more worry. And then I would say, like some people, one of my tarot clients has asked me like, Liz, should I be a prepper? Should I prep for the oncoming disaster? I said, well, if it pleases you to sew your own clothes and grow seeds and save seeds and grow your own stuff and whatever, if you love that, by all means, do that. Love it. Do it by all means. If you're doing it because you're scared, anxious, and worried, I wouldn't. I would work on why you're scared, anxious, and worried. Hello. I would work on why you're scared, anxious, and worried. I know he wants to go for his walk. I took you for a walk. Yeah. You're super cute. So I would work on why you're anxious and worried. It's super important to kind of stop that and relax and stop why you're worried and work. And that's like making people feel better is so super good. So anyway, yeah, he is super cute. Yeah. I'm giving him back this soon. I love him. But my daughter has a buyer. She's going to make her money back. I know we don't like to talk about selling puppies, but she paid a good deal of money for him. And she has someone who's going to kind of make it even for her. So I'm trying to keep him alive and happy so she can, make her money back or whatever. Frenchies are expensive because they have to do C-sections on the puppies. Anyway, this conversation is going sideways. But anyway, you guys have any other questions? Hey, 77. Yes, we're on the waiting mood. Hey, 77, nice to see you. Like this will be on replay. I did a little bit of lesson 77. Do you want to be a mod again? I appreciate you being here. I know it's coaching, not necessarily tarot. But since some of you guys are here, let's do a blessing reading. Yeah, I got my little shorty shorts on. I went for a trail run today. Yes, I'm going to try to do this. Yeah, go back and listen. Absolutely. I made you a mod if you want to be. I can take you off if you don't want to be. And you don't have to be here every week. So let's do a blessing reading for you guys. Because I do love reading. I just can't do all the things I want to do. I'm going to try to do, so let me make some announcements. Okay. I'm going to make some announcements. Every Tuesday, I'm going to try to be here on YouTube. I'm going to try to do Facebook Lives on Thursdays, and I put a link at the top of the chat and in the description box. If you go join my channel, and it's a private channel, but I'll let you in, and so we'll try to do a Facebook Live if anyone's into that. Over there, I'll just be reading books, reading Neville Goddard and stuff like that. Let me give you guys a blessing reading today. Oh, we have the Four of Wands. Oh, and we have you got a tarot read. Yeah, don't have Facebook. Don't even worry about it. I'm not even crazy about Facebook, but I know there's peepses over there. We have the Fool card. Okay, this is interesting. So I'll see what you got. We got some Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, this is so neat. And we have the Five of Swords. So I'm doing a Kachina knife spread. And one more card. Ooh, and the Lover's card. All right. Yeah, don't worry about Facebook, Nina. You can meet me up over here. And so you guys, of course, I don't mind being here for free. If you guys would like, because if so, I'm putting this on my planner. Absolutely. Come on, Nina, join us. That's great. So I would love to coach you guys, right? And there is an investment for that. I'm happy to support free. But of course, if you want more detailed work, I'm super excellent at what I do. It's what I do. I'm better at that than at tarot cards. So anyway, I think that this channel, for the one thing, is on a whole new path. And you guys who are here, open to coaching or improving your lives, I think the universe or God or source is inviting you into a whole new path of what you want. So if you're here in this call, I think it'd be super, think about what you want. What is it that you want? If you didn't have to make money doing something, what would you be doing that's different than what you're doing now? Are you having your goals, right? And I think that, you folks who are on this call or in this space right now with happy homes. There's a comfy home, and there's also a gateway because you have both the Fool card. Remember the Four of Wands is like a gateway, like 1111, like a happy home or a portal gateway. So I think that if you're on this call, you're being invited into a whole new gateway of life, but it's really boding well. It's a happy home card. So, and you have 2 pages. So there's new money ideas, new happy emotional ideas. So whatever it is, I think that some of you have stuff on your mind, whether it's going to see grandkids or starting a small business or trying the new thing, the new medical treatment or whatever it is. Hey, baby, I think that you have some new ideas. So that the cards are suggesting go for those new ideas. Don't just poo-poo them and go, nah, I got to do the thing. I got to do the normal thing. Go for it. Go for it in life. Absolutely. These are opportunities for new things, new ideas. And even though they're in their infancy, if you will, go for it. All right. Okay. I told a sweet friend about you. Oh, that's great. That's great. And I think that whatever projects you're working on, it is going to take some work. You're going to be doing the work. I would just say, my mentor says to me, 5 good hours. So if you have a new project you're working on, new something, maybe you have a job or a person you're taking care of. But if you have the time and you're building a new business, can you put 5 good hours into it? Are you putting some work? And I don't mean hard work. I mean, what I'm getting from this is inspired action. So as you're working this new goal, is there something you're inspired to do? Like I woke up the other day and I seriously, I woke up the other day. It's like, change the name of the channel to Shiny Side Up. It was in my head. Like seriously, I did it. It was crazy fun. And I was like, okay. And it actually fits better than the feeling better. The feeling better space kind of seemed a little lower energy than Shiny Side Up. And whatever it is that you're doing, it's like you might be going through a little bit of confusion about how to implement it, whatever your new project, your new wanting is. Okay. But you're going to be able to seriously bond with it, and move forward with whatever it is. So whatever's on your heart right now, that I think the universe is saying, go for it and try and check it out. It's not going to be without some trials because you have some confusion about how to get started. And this is about mental stuff. This is thoughts and confusion, maybe a mini argument, or I'm saying more, it's more of an internal mental challenge to figure it out. But you're on your way. We've got the Lover's card, which is about contracting, bonding, falling in love, being in love with your project, with your person. And then you'll be asked to do some work, but it's inspired work. So whatever you guys have going on is like very auspicious. So there you go. Oh, really? That's nice. Well, yeah. So I'm done. I'm complete with everything. I just wanted to come on and see what it's like to do live coaching. But come back with questions about your life. We'll talk about other things. We'll go into maybe the life script next time. Snappy and happy. You guys are awesome. Any other questions? You guys can head on your merry evening. Go take care of your people. Transcending Grammy, your new person. I hope you're able to see your new person a lot. Your new little person. How's your new little person? Oh, you're welcome, Nina. Transcending Grammy, how's your new little person? Happy and healthy, I assume? Yeah. So that's great for now. I'm going to sign off and head on out unless you guys have any other questions. So great to be here with you. Bye. Thanks for listening. Bye.